Remember the magic of Toys R Us? The giant toy store that was every kid's dream destination? Whether you grew up in the 80s, 90s, or early 2000s, there's a good chance that Toys R Us was a huge part of your childhood. From the aisles packed with the hottest toys, to the giant giraffe who welcomed you at the door, this store had a special place in our hearts. But somewhere along the way, something changed, and the beloved brand we all grew up with disappeared. How's it going, everyone? My name is Billy Katana, and today we're going to be talking about the beloved mascot Jeffrey the Giraffe, the bankruptcy that shook the brand, and the heartbreaking closures of their stores. Before we talk about the stores, let's talk about the mascot who became deeply connected with the brand, Jeffrey the Giraffe. Jeffrey wasn't just a mascot, he was the face of Toys R Us for decades, and he had a personality that made him stand out. Jeffrey made his first appearance back in 1965, and he quickly became the heart and soul of the brand. With his tall, friendly giraffe appearance and big, welcoming eyes, Jeffrey represented everything that made Toys R Us full of imagination and wonders. He wasn't just in commercials either. Jeffrey was present at grand openings, promotions, and even kids' birthday parties. Some of us grew up with Jeffrey being the first face we saw when we entered a store, making him more than just a logo. He was a childhood friend. Through the 80s and 90s, Toys R Us was the toy store. If you were a kid, nothing quite compared to walking through the massive aisles filled with every toy imaginable. Barbies, Hot Wheels, video games, action figures, you name it. It was every child's dream come true. These stores were gigantic, with shelves reaching the ceiling. It was a wonderland for kids, and the experience was unforgettable. No more running from aisle to aisle in a crowded department store. Toys R Us was dedicated only to toys, and it showed. The brand was unstoppable, and the commercials were everywhere. Whether it was the catchy jingle or Jeffrey waving from the TV screen, Toys R Us was the place to go, especially around birthdays and the holiday season. However, by the mid-2000s, things started to change.
And more to icon, I think that's a proper way to describe him. Toys R Us, going away completely after 60 years in business. Bert Flickinger's with us. He's a retail analyst with the Strategic Resource Group. All right, Bert, they're going away completely because, first of all, it was Walmart that knocked them on the head. Then it was Amazon, and now they're loaded to the gunnels with debt.
Big box retailers like Walmart and Target began offering the same toys at lower prices. These stores had way more foot traffic and were often more convenient for people who didn't want to make a special trip just to buy toys. Then the rise of online shopping, particularly with Amazon, who put even more pressure on Toys R Us. Consumers can now buy toys from the comfort of their own homes, and stores like Amazon offered more convenience, often at lower prices and faster shipping. Toys R Us simply couldn't keep up with the shift in consumer behavior. In September 2017, after struggling to keep up with competition and dealing with a significant amount of debt, Toys R Us filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Largest toy store chain in the U.S., Toys R Us, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The toy chain is dealing with $5 billion in debt. The company says restructuring the debt will give it more financial flexibility.
It was a huge blow to the company and to millions of loyal customers. Despite trying to reorganize and rebrand, it was clear that the landscape had changed.
The big story tonight, the end of an era.
Toys R Us set to close all of its stores.
Toys R Us and Babies R Us are officially closing and selling hundreds of their buildings.
Toys R Us filing for liquidation and planning to close its doors after nearly 70 years.
The store closures began shortly after, and by 2018, Toys R Us announced that it would close its remaining stores in the United States. The giant toy store we all knew and loved is now a thing of the past. For many, it felt like a punch to the gut. Toys R Us had been part of our childhoods, and seeing those going out of business signs was heartbreaking. For some people, these closures were a painful reminder that things change, and not always for the better. The store was more than just a place to buy toys, it was a part of our memories. Many people shared memories of shopping with their parents, getting to pick out their favorite toy, and of course, seeing Jeffrey the Giraffe at the entrance. For those of us who grew up with it, the closing of Toys R Us was like losing a small piece of ourselves. But even though the stores are gone, Toys R Us will never fully be gone. Its legacy lives on in the memories we carry. From those birthdays we spent in those aisles to those special moments with Jeffrey, the brand would always have a place in our hearts. Sure, the stores may have closed, but the magic of Toys R Us will always be a part of who we are. And so, while we may no longer be able to walk into another Toys R Us store and feel the excitement of seeing Jeffrey at the door, we can still cherish the memories that Toys R Us brought to so many of us will live on forever. Do you have a favorite memory from Toys R Us? Maybe you got your first bike there, or unwrapped your favorite toy at a birthday party. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, no matter how much time passes, you'll always be a Toys R Us kid at heart.